Hey folks, welcome to the Leeds Gamer. Just before I get into the video, do please do all the regular good stuff. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We have had some new subscribers over the last 24 hours, so that's been really pleasing. So yeah, if you like a bit of football content, then do please tell your friends and family, and please ask them to subscribe to the channel. And just so that you don't miss any future content, do please hit the notification bell, and also please like the video. So, just done a video here for a bit of fun. Out of blatant curiosity, I was wondering what division would each football club play in if it was based on the size of their stadium's capacity. So, based on the biggest stadium at the top of the Premier League, going all the way down to the smallest stadium, or 92nd smallest, or 92nd biggest, I guess, depending on which way you look at it, down at the bottom of League Two. There are some surprising inclusions, and some teams that might not be right happy with how far they've dropped, and others quite happy with the upturn in fortunes. Now, in terms of the capacities, I've got these off Wikipedia. There's literally a page on Wikipedia that says list of stadiums in the United Kingdom by capacity. Now, this has also included other stadiums, but I'm just basing it on this. Now, I was tempted to leave out the Welsh clubs. However, I've included you. So for any Welsh football fans watching, your club's in there, if your stadium's big enough. So, I'll start at the top and work down. It pains me. It absolutely pains me as a Leeds United fan to see that team right in the top left corner there at the top of the Premier League. Hopefully it never happens in real life again. But yeah, they're top. And what Tottenham Hotspur would give to be second right now. Currently in a relegation battle. And also West Ham. You've got you've got the two teams that are basically left in the relegation battle, currently occupying second and third in terms of their capacities. Followed by Liverpool and Arsenal and Manchester City. You've kind of got a little bit more regularity there. Then you got Everton with their new stadium, so that's taken into account the Hill Dickinson. Goodison Park is still on this other list on Wikipedia, but that's because it's now used by the Everton women, of which I didn't know, but now I do. Then you got Newcastle, and they'll be delighted to see that they're one place ahead of Sunderland. Then you got Aston Villa, then you got Chelsea, then you've got the first outlier in this, Sheffield Wednesday. In the current state that the club is in at the moment, if these teams really had to play in these divisions, good God, they get absolutely slaughtered. But going back into the 90s, they were quite a solid Premier League team. And Hillsborough would currently put them in 12th. Then you got my team, Leeds United, Ellen Road, currently 37,000. Used to be 40,000 before Ken Bates decided to put a bloody box in there instead. Now, if Leeds at Ellen Road was still at 40,000 on the dot, which is what it used to be, then Leeds would actually be between. They'd be one place above Sheffield Wednesday and one below Chelsea. So that's where Leeds would be. They'd be up a place or two. Now, when Leeds' stadium development is finished, it will then take it to 53,000. then that would actually put Leeds just ahead of Everton. Just ahead of Everton, because it'll be about 100 more than the Hill Dickinson. So Leeds would then be the 7th biggest stadium in the country. That sounds quite good to me. I'm not grumbling. So, anyway, moving on. So, after Leeds, you've got Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough would happily take mid-table in the Premier League right now. They still have a chance to go back up to the Premier League via the playoffs in the Championship, but their form has not been all that good in the recent times. Then you've got Derby County, who just narrowly missed out on the playoff. Then you've got Cardiff City, the highest of the Welsh contingent, with their stadium. I think there's about 30,000 into it. And how Cardiff would love to be back in the Premier League. That ain't going to happen anytime soon. But I think they've got a chance of promotion to the Championship again. I think they got the playoff place this time around in League One. Then you've got Sheffield United. They won't be right happy that there's a number of clubs separating them with their Sheffield rivals, but hey ho, that's how it is. Then you've got Southampton. They're also in the Championship playoff right now, so they've got a chance of coming back up. Then you've got the current reigning champions of the Championship, Coventry City. They will be back in the Premier League this next coming season. Then you've got Leicester City, who are going in the other direction, back down to League One. Ouch. You reap what you sow when you try to cheat. Sorry, Leicester. No sympathy whatsoever for them. So that's how the Premier League would look. Moving on to the Championship. Just as a quick overview of the Premier League, apart from Sheffield Wednesday, whose current situation and is absolutely bloody dire, the rest of the division doesn't look so terrible, and certainly by size of club, generally speaking, maybe by Cardiff, you've still got a pretty strong Premier League there. But there's obviously some notable absentees there based on capacity size alone. So moving on to the Championship, well, Wolves will be quite happy if they finish top this next coming season, because it means an immediate return to the Premier League. Brighton and Hove Albion, they would not be happy about going back down to the Championship after sustaining themselves as a Premier League team in recent years, but if they were to finish second in the Championship, they would be going right back up again. Blackburn Rovers, former Premier League winners back in the 90s. They very nearly joined the other former Premier League winners, Leicester City, in getting relegated, but they just survived towards the end of the season. And in this scenario, Ewood Park would actually put them top of the playoffs. How they'd love to be that high up again. Then you got Nottingham Forest. Could you imagine Marinakis putting up with Forest going down again? Oh God, he'd have a meltdown. Then you've got the most ridiculous bloody situation here. Milton Keynes Dons would be 5th in the Championship in a playoff place. I mean, they've got I think they've got the worst turnout compared to stadium capacity. I think Ben HD did that kind of video a while back. Like the percentage of the stadium that's filled every week for every home game. And MK Dons were right at the very bottom, to the surprise of nobody. But yeah, their stadium's about 20 odd to 30,000 or something, and they only get about 3,000 or something stupid. It's crazy. But yeah, you'd find MK Dons in bloody 5th in Championship. That ain't never going to happen. Not for a long time. Then you got Stoke City. I mean, they absolutely bite your hand off for a playoff spot, because they've been stuck in bottom half at Championship for God knows how long now, or it feels a long time. Then you got Ipswich Town. They wouldn't be right happy of finishing just outside the playoffs. They've just actually finished second in real life in the Championship. They're going back up again. They can renew their rivalry with Leeds after Leeds got an aggregate score of 8-3. 8-3 when you put the two fixtures together, the home and away, from the last time that Leeds and Ipswich played each other for the two games in the season. It was 4-3 and 4-0. Ben Bloom's going to be looking forward to seeing Ipswich face Leeds again this season, I'm sure. Or this next coming season, I should say. Then you got Birmingham City, who narrowly missed out on the Championship playoffs. I think they finished about 10th, so being about 8th right now, it's about right, isn't it? Bolton Wanderers, a team that have been striving to get back into the Championship over the last few years and just keep narrowly missing out. They would actually find themselves in the middle of the Championship right now, and they would bite your hands off for that. But they continue to be a large club in League One. Then you got Norwich in 10th. That's about right, pretty much. I think that might be where they finished this season, actually. Then you got Charlton. So that's about half a division increase in where they finished. They had a decent season, having just come back up from League One this time around. They survived. So they're going to play another season in the Championship, and based on the capacity at the Valley, they'd finish 11th. Then you got Bristol City, slap bang in the middle of the Championship. Feels about right for them, doesn't it? West Bromwich Albion, they'd take 13th any day of the week right now, because they've been in a relegation battle this season. Crystal Palace, what a drop. What a drop. A team that's just played in European competition. They find themselves in 14th in the Championship? Ooh, they wouldn't like that. And Fulham, similar situation. An established Premier League team over recent seasons. They'd find themselves in 15th in the Championship. They would not like that. Hull City, they've actually had a good season this season. They've finished in the playoffs in real life in the Championship, but this particular capacity situation would take them all the way down to 16th. And then you got Wigan Athletic. You got two rugby places there, haven't you, really? Hull City and Wigan Athletic. They're a bit more well known for their rugby league, but both have been in the Premier League in the past. And both of them would find themselves in the middle of the bottom half of the Championship. Bradford City, they'd be on a bit of a rise here, as would their West Yorkshire neighbours Huddersfield Town. So they would both find themselves in 18th and 19th in the Championship. I think both clubs would quite happily take that right now. Reading, another team that's had a decent season in League One, they would quite happily take 20th in the Championship right now. Ben HD, I think you'd leave him sweating, wouldn't you, if Preston North End would have finished 21st. But that's where they would be. And then look at the three teams going down. Barnsley, Burnley and Watford. Barnsley would not be happy about coming up to Championship and then going straight back down again. And Burnley, God, that would be a double relegation, wouldn't it? They'd relegate them from this season in real life, and then in this capacity situation, Turf Moor would drop them down another division. Some very disgruntled claret and blue fans there. And Watford, God, the Potsos would have a meltdown. They'd probably sell up if Watford got down to League One, which actually Watford fans would probably be quite happy with that. So, in terms of outliers, well, I mean, the clear elephant in the Championship room is MK Dons for that one, isn't it? By a country mile. Moving on to League One. Swansea City, they'd be coming back up to the Championship because they'd be finishing top of League One, as would Portsmouth. They'd be coming straight back up. Then you got Notts County, oldest professional club in the country. They'd be quite happy with third in League One, I think. Then you got Millwall. Oh boy, their fans would be brawling with all other League One clubs and League One fans. They would not be a happy bunch. Then again, when are they ever a happy bunch? Then you got Home Park, Plymouth Argyle. Nice little stadium from what I've seen. Plus, I like the fact that Leeds got promoted. They confirmed their first place and promotion at Home Park at the final game of the championship season when Leeds got promoted. Plus, my favourite colour is green, so I don't have a problem with Plymouth Argyle. So yeah, they'd probably be okay with 5th place. Then you got Port Vale. They would have loved to have finished that high up. They've got relegated this season, if memory serves me right. They did have a good FA Cup run though, if I remember. Then you got Queen's Park Rangers. They won't be right happy about being in League One, but Loftus Road is not a particularly big stadium. Then you got Brentford. What a drop for Brentford! My God, they would not be happy about being back in League One. That is for sure. Then you got quite a nice rise for Tranmere Rovers, the club that's sat under the shadow of Liverpool and Everton for donkey's years. But yeah, they'd be quite happy rising all the way up to top half of League One, as would Carlisle United, who not that long ago, along with Tranmere, were pottering around in the National League. Then you got Blackpool. They've kind of had a brief spell in Premier League, didn't they, and then kind of dropped back down again. Dodgy owners, wasn't it? The Oyston family or something, if I remember right. Then you got Swindon Town. Then you've got Deadpool's Wrexham, who would drop all the way back to the top of the bottom half of League One. I think Phil Parkinson would lose his job at that point. Yeah. Then you've got Peterborough United, followed by Doncaster Rovers. Then you got my local team, FC Halifax Town. Now I was wondering, how the hell are they as high up as that? And according to the stadium capacities on the Wikipedia page, it includes standing capacity as well as seating. And it put the Shea at around 14,000. Now that's because I think it's one of the goal end stands is just a terrace. There's no seating. It's standing only. Because to my mind, the Shea from a seating capacity is 10,000. So for the purpose of this little fun video, I will happily take it. I would love to see Halifax Town as high as the bottom half of League One. It's going to take a few years for Halifax to get that high up. They keep narrowly missing out. They keep getting either in the playoff or just outside the playoff in the National League right now. So, but yeah, I would love to see FC Halifax Town as high up as that. But right now, no, not going to happen, unfortunately. Then you got Oldham Athletic. They'd be quite happy with that. They're kind of continuing their rise from having dropped into the National League. Got themselves back into League Two, I think, didn't they? Then you've got the three-sided stand, the three sides of Oxford United. 3 sides as in that they don't have 4 stands; they've only got 3 stands. Yeah, the capacity there with them missing a stand drops them all the way down to 18th in League One. I don't think they'll be right happy about that. They are going down to League One this time though, so who knows. Then you got Bristol City. Oh God, I'll get myself strung up for that one. Bristol Rovers. Apologies, Bristol fans of both varieties. Then you've got Southend, who again have been a Football League team in the past, but again have dropped themselves down to the National League. Southend was the team that FC Halifax Town was trying to catch to get the final playoff place this season, and narrowly missed out. Then you got Rotherham United, followed by Gateshead, who again are another National League team right now. Then you got Newport County, who I think they're relegated, aren't they, from League Two? Did they join Harrogate, or was that Barrow? So maybe Newport finished maybe one place higher. I can't remember, but they were definitely involved in it. And then you've got Gig Lane, Bury, Now, Bury obviously were a Football League team for quite a long time. And then they got wound up and had to reform down in Tier 10 at Football Pyramid. I think they're up to about Tier 8 now, but under the current capacity format, they would find themselves back in League One again. They'd happily take that, wouldn't they? Albeit at the bottom of it. Who's the outlier in League One? Well, yeah, I mean, you could take your pick out of any of those National League teams, couldn't you? So either Halifax or Gateshead. Oh, no, in fact, what am I saying? Bury. What am I saying? Yeah, Bury's the obvious elephant in the League One room there, aren't they? Yeah, that's. And again, when I'm saying these, I kind of stands out more the ones that are coming up from the lower leagues. Obviously, you've got a couple of Premier League teams that have dropped down to the Championship, and then you've got then you got Brentford. So if you look at the other end of the scale, you've got Brentford as the other elephant in the League One room there. Currently a very established side in the Premier League. They would not be happy about being in League One again. So finally, moving on to League Two. So top of the league, you'd have Gillingham. Then you'd have Kenilworth Road going through the local houses to get to Luton Town. They'd find themselves in second place. Then you got Bournemouth. Dean Court, down you go. Back down to League Two. Tiny ground for Premier League standards. But yeah, AFC Bournemouth would find themselves third in League Two. Then you got Walsall, then Stockport County, Chesterfield, Lincoln City, who have just had a fantastic season in League One. I don't want to see themselves down in League Two, would they? But this is part of the joke that's been going around that if Tottenham get relegated, you've got a 60,000 stadium against a bloody 10,000 Lincoln City stadium. Or thereabouts. Absolutely mental. And both of them could be playing in Championship this next season. Absolutely mad. Then you got Rochdale, who have got a very good chance of getting promoted if the playoff final hasn't already happened in the National League. They joined York with a horrendously high total this season, and changes have got to be made in the National League, haven't they? You know, in terms of promotion, without a shadow of a doubt. Then you got Crewe, followed by Wickham, Mansfield, Colchester. Then you got Merthyr Town. Now, I didn't realise that Merthyr Tydfil, as they used to be known as, had actually reformed. But when looking into it, Merthyr Town still use the old Merthyr Tydfil Stadium. Again, from what I can gather, and it's big enough to get them into League Two currently, based on this capacity theory that we're using. That's mad. I do remember Merthyr Tydfil at least being equivalent to National League, but they currently play. I think they play National League South currently. I might have got that wrong. I don't know, but they're low down anyway. And they are another Welsh team. So then you've got Shrewsbury, and then Yeovil. Yeovil would be quite happy to come back up again, wouldn't they? I think as far as I'm aware, I think Huish Park currently resides in the National League. Cambridge United, then Grimsby Town, the team that knocked out Manure. What a day that was. Oh yeah, that was brilliant. Then you got AFC Wimbledon. They won't be right happy about dropping all the way down to 18th in League Two again. They've kind of just had a very steady rise of Wimbledon. Then you got Leyton Orient. It's a bit of a drop for them as well. They've kind of stabilised themselves in League One in recent years. Scunthorpe United, they'd be quite happy to get promoted from the National League back into League Two again. Exeter City, and then Bath City. Good God. I mean, again, they're another team that play National League. I think it's National League South for them. So they'd be very happy to be up in League Two. Then you've got York City, who have absolutely smashed the National League in terms of points and goals. You know, so they'll be quite happy to come back up, but they wouldn't be right happy about going straight back down again if they were to finish in 23rd. And then finally, the team in 92nd place overall is Northampton Town. They would not be happy about going down to the National League, that is for sure. So in terms of in terms of the outlier or kind of elephant clubs in the League Two room, Bournemouth is the obvious one, isn't it? And then probably Merthyr, if, coming from the other direction. Yeah, absolutely bonkers. And again, you can include Bath City in that as well. So, which current Football League teams don't make the 92 cut, and what is their current capacity? Now, when I was looking at this list, I believe the first one is Hartlepool. Albeit, are Hartlepool still in the National League? They might be, actually, thinking about it. Yeah, so you've got Hartlepool, Victoria Park. Their capacity is 7,691. There's an association football team called Grantham Town, who play in the South Kesteven Sports Stadium, which is 7,500. They are based in Lincolnshire, and they are current members of the United Counties League Premier Division North. That's a huge stadium for such a tiny club. Wow. Then you've got Aldershot, they're in National League at the moment. Cheltenham. There you go. So Cheltenham Town would be the first team, Wadham Road, with a capacity of 7,066, that finds themselves lower than League Two just based on capacity size alone. You've got Farnborough. I think they're National League these days, aren't they? Burton Albion, the Pirelli, 6,912. They find themselves outside of the Football League. Who else you've got? Stevenage. See, they've had a decent season, haven't they? I think, if I remember right. Was it League 2 or League 1? Stevenage were quite good in this time around, but they would find themselves outside of it because Broadall Way only holds 6,722. Who else have you got? There's a team called Railway Athletic, and they don't even have a Wikipedia page, but they play at a stadium called York Street. Well, they're based near. Looks as if they're based in Boston, which ironically Boston's got their own team anyway. But York Street holds 6,643. Then you got Weymouth, who I think are National League. The Bob Lucas Stadium holds 6,600. Then you got Hereford. Well, Hereford Town, which was obviously a reformed version after the old Hereford club kind of fizzled out. They're Hurtingford Park. God, that's a mouthful. That holds 6,500. Then you got Stalybridge Celtic. They've been in and around National League before now. At 6,500. Dover Athletic, they've been in the National League before now. The Crabble Athletic Ground, 6,500. So yeah, that's that really. You've got Morecambe, they've had the problems recently. Barnet, Macclesfield, Telford, Kidderminster, Crawley, Torquay, Altrincham, Dagenham and Redbridge, Woking. You're getting a whole cluster of like League 2 / National League level type teams there, aren't you? And they're all at the bottom end, just slightly above 6,000 capacity. So there you go, folks. Just a bit of fun. Don't be alarmed if you find your club too high or too low. But if it was based on capacity, just for one season, this is where you'd find yourselves. So, anyway, hope you've enjoyed that. It's just for a bit of a laugh, just to see where teams would be. But yeah, as I said before, do please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please like the video, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content. But in the meantime, folks, big thank you for watching. Really appreciate all the support. Have a good one, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.